Hello, in this video, I want to share with you this daily cash flow dashboard template that I sell on Etsy. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. So, first off, I want to say that this is not financial advice, this is just for informational purposes only. So, if you purchase this template on Etsy, it's available in Google Sheet and in Excel, but in Excel, it only works with Excel 2021 or above. Okay, so when you open this in Google Sheet and Excel, you notice that you have 7 tabs. And first, you need to work on this description tab. So this description tab, the information will flow through other tabs. So you need to start on this first. So in this description tab, these yellow highlighted cell, you can make changes to them to according to your business. So if you don't sell a product, and you sell just service, then you can just change that to service. So for example, if I'm in a business selling widget, that I can change this to widget, right? Widget sales. You can change the description, but make sure they're all unique. Okay, and then here in the inflow, you notice that this here will be part of the drop down menu. So in this inflow ledger, is where you put in your inflow or your revenue for the day. So you can put in your date and then what type of revenue was it for. You can pick from this drop down menu. And the description is optional. It's for informational purpose. So you can put description you want. And you need to put the amount. And then also there's a notes and comments. So as you can see here, if I change this to back to product sales, the drop down menu will reflect that as well, right? So if I change this to product sales, right, you can see here it will change to product sales, right? So it's very important that you set up this description setup tab here before you start with all the other tabs, okay? So inflow ledger, you put in the date, you pick from the drop down menu what it is, and then you put the amount, okay? Outflow ledger works the same way. It just for cash that you paid or the expenses that you have for that date or that month, right? And the drop down here matches all the items that is in the cash going out, okay? And the cash flow statement is basically a summary of these 2 tabs here, just grabbing the data by the month and organize it in a financial statement view. So you come here, you can pick whatever year that you want. You're in 2025. This year we pick 2025, and if your business starts in June, you can start this in June, and it will reflect, right? So this whole statement starts in June, but your business starts in January, then you can make it start January. You can also make it start in other months, but usually people's business have a calendar year, so I would just put it as January for me. And then daily cash flow here, you can come and see the daily cash flow. You can pick the year, what month that you want to look at and what date you start. So if you start from Monday, you can see this Monday, right? You start from Sunday, start Sunday. And you can pick the week. So each week it has a different date, right? Right here, it tells you what dates are in that week, right? And you can see here, it matches over here. And the comparative cash flow is just basically a comparison of this tab here. So you notice on this week that we choose, you start with 112 and you end with 118. And on the comparative cash flow, the drop down menu has that too, 112, 118, 112, 118. So let's say we go back, we pick another week, right? So we pick, let's say week 3. We start, let's start another week. Week 2, 1/5 to 1/11, 1/5 to 1/11. Okay, so here you come to the drop down menu. In Google Sheet, you notice this red triangle here. It just means that whatever that is picked here is not part of the option in the menu because it has changed, right? We went and changed the week in over here in this tab, so that's why you see that red arrow or triangle. But it's fine. You just come here to the drop down, so you can see the drop down has also changed. It reflected 1/5 to 1/11, also here too, 1/5 to 1/11. So you pick from anything that's available in the drop down menu, the red triangle will go away, right? And you can pick it here, but there's no data because we haven't input in any data. Okay. And same thing with the daily cash flow dashboard. You have an NA here because you're picking a date that is not available in the drop down menu because this dashboard here is a reflection of this tab, this data here. And we've changed the date, right? We changed it from whatever week before to week 2. Now the drop down menu would have 1.5 to 1.12, right? But we pick another option that it's outside of that. So that's why we have a red triangle. And that's why you see NA everywhere. But when you come here and here and pick whatever is available in this option, NA will disappear, right? So this is basically how this template flows. So let's just start out and put in data here. And let's do one example. Okay, so right here, let's say I'm going to change this to service revenue one, right? You need to make sure that the description is unique. Why I have a one here is because this one's already have service revenue. I don't want to make another description that's the same. So let's say I want to maybe do this service revenue, or maybe let me just change this back. Product revenue, and then I could make this like widget, right? Because I'm selling widget right there. Okay, so now I go to the inflow, and let's say it's I made some money today. So let's say on 1/17/2025, once you type in the date, it's going to automatically tell you what the month and the year is. So this one, you don't need to do anything in column C and D. Here, you need to pick what is it for. On this date, what kind of revenue did you receive? What kind of cash did you receive? So we receive a product widget, then you pick that and it automatically tells you it's operating revenue, because under here, product revenue is where you put in operating activities, right? So for example, let's get something from the investing activity and see if it returns as investing activity cash coming in, right? Okay, so on 1/17/2025, we also have some investing activity. So cash receipts from investment return. Let's say we made some. See, so once you pick that, it automatically knows that it's an investing activity. And here, you can put a description if you want. It's optional, but here you need to put an amount. How much money did you make for that widget? Let's say we made $30,000 in that widget, and then cash receipts from investment return. Let's say we make $1,500 for that, or 15,000. Okay, so the outflow, same thing. So outflow, let's say on 1/17, 2025, we have cost of goods sold, right? So material and supply, we know it's on operating activity, because in the material and supply here is in the operating activity, right? So you can come here and put an amount. How much material and supply did it cost you, right? You just put maybe 2,000, for me 2,000. And notice here I didn't put as a negative, just put all your data as positive, and the cash flow statement will automatically calculate it. Okay. Um, all right. So we go to this cash flow statement here, and because we have entered in product revenue for January 2025 as 30,000, right? So as you can see here, for January we entered in 30,000. So it shows up here as 30,000, and then for investing activity showed 15,000. So what if we put 2/1, right? Let's see if I put 2/1/2025, and I pick this for widget again, for the widget, and let's say in February I made 45,000. You're gonna notice that that 45 will appear in February, right? So this, you don't need to do anything here besides picking from the drop down menu, okay? And then you can put your beginning balance if you know. If on 1/1/2025 in January, when you start out you had $2,000, then you can put it there and it automatically calculate, right? So basically, in January, you had 30,000 widget sale and 15,000 in investing activity coming in. So total, you have 45,000 coming in, and then you have $2,000 that we input in the outflow, right? So that's money going out. So 45 minus 2,000, you have 43,000, right? So that's your um, cash. Total cash paid out is 2,000, and then you have here, um, yes, 45 minus 2 is 43,000, right? There you go. Oh, and so that's correct. So basically, here you go. So 45 minus 2000 here is 43. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out why it's not adding the beginning balance. But here you can see that on February, it tells you the correct beginning balance because you also have 2000 here, right? So basically, you have 45,000 minus your 2,000, so you're at 43, plus your beginning balance here is 2,000. So you're really, when you end it up, when you start February, you have 45,000. I hope that makes sense. So if you increase this by 10,000, let's see, then you should have 53, which is correct, right? So this 43 plus your beginning, then you should have 53,000. Okay? So that's how it works. You don't really need to do anything here because this data here will automatically pull from the outflow ledger. All right. Um, okay. And then the daily cash flow, you can see here as well, right? So if you want to see the month January that you input in data, right? We put in input data for I think the third week because we enter in data for the 17. So if you come see the 17, right, on a Friday, this is how much money you've inputted, right? 30,000, 15,000, 2,000 here. And then we also inputted one for February, right? So February, I think we entered for the first week of February. Um, First week of February. Yeah, we entered 45,000, 2-1, right? Because in this inflow ledger, right, 2-1. So on daily cash flow, you can see it 2-1 right here. Okay. So on the comparative statement, let's go back to January. What week is that? Week 3, right? We enter in just one day. Let's enter in one for 118 as well. So let's enter in 118 2025 because I want to show you how the comparative work. And let's say we do 65,000 on 118 the next day. So you go to the comparative statement. You can see here on 117 we enter 30,000. On 118 we enter 65,000. So we go to daily comparative cash flow, right? If we do 117 and 118, you can see here it shows you, right? So on this date you made this much, and then on 18 you made this much. So what is this? Why is it? Oh, so the change. So it depends. So this one, the way it's looking at the change is that it's looking column D minus column E. So if you want the most recent data, right? So your most recent data should be in column D. So you can look at 118 minus 117. So you can see there's an increase between that two date, right? So on 18, you made $35,000 more. So just be aware of how this change is looking at the data, right? So just make sure that column D is always the most recent data, and then column E is the prior data, okay? Because this is how the change is looking at, right? It's column D minus column E. Okay, so this is correct. So on 118, you actually made $35,000 more than on 117, and then you have 116.67 change. Okay, all right. So that's how it looks at the data. And here in the daily cash flow, you come here. Um, you just need to pick from the drop down menu because our drop down menu here has changed. So on 117, I mean, we only have this data in here. So I mean, the graph kind of looks a bit odd, but as you input more data, the information should be filled out more, right? This chart will be filled out more, so it looks a bit more reasonable, but we only put in like one date, so it looks kind of weird. Okay, so that's how this daily cash flow dashboard works and how it flows. So when you get this template, make sure you start out with this tab first. Make all the changes to the description in yellow according to your business. And from there, just go in and type in each day that you receive money and pick from the inflow what type it is, so it understands, is it for operating, investing, or financing activity? What type of inflow are you getting? And then go to the outflow and just type in the date and pick from the outflow type what type of cash is going out. Is it for operating, financing, or investing activity, right? And then from there, it just summarizes the information that you've entered into a financial statement. And here you can look at the daily information that you've entered in. And here is a comparative statement for the daily cash flow and then the daily cash flow dashboard. So that's how it works. So here I have another template where I have everything filled out. Um, so we can see how it works in action. All right. So here I have everything set up. I'm good with it. And then I come to this inflow tab and I can type out as much data as I want, right? You can see here as much data as you want, and you can go to outflow tab and you type in as much data as you want. Okay. For everyday activity for the year. And in cash flow statement, it automatically grabs that data. You can see here. See all the data being grabbed here, right, from whatever you entered. And it makes a financial statement for you. Okay. And then here is the daily cash flow dashboard here, right? It's just summarizing the data by the date here. And then the daily cash flow comparative statement. So just make sure this is always the most recent data, and then this one is always the prior data. Okay, so you can see the change here correctly. Okay, and then this is the dashboard. Right, you can pick to view per day, or you can pick to view per week as well. Right. Okay, so that's all I have. And if you're interested in this template, please check it out. I'll have this listing in the description. If you're interested, please check it out. So thank you.